I have to say I watched it at the premiere and I was quite taken aback. I found it really moving and powerful, and by the end, when Churchill is giving the speech, I sort of got swept up in the momentum of sort of hope and unity and pride, and I really liked it. So we're at this moment, this hour, when Churchill becomes Prime Minister and is flung into an almost, what people thought was sort of sinking ship, a poison chalice, and he's confronted with the choice of whether to sort of go to war with Hitler or sign a peace treaty and go against his cabinet and government. And Elizabeth Layton is the young personal secretary who is working for Churchill during this time and is there notating and taking down his speeches as he comes up with them and writing the telegrams that are ordering and sentencing men to their death. And it's a very powerful role, I think, and based on a real woman who indeed did work for Churchill over that period. She wrote a book sort of charting and her experience for him over the course of 5 years, and it's amazing, it's incredible what she did. She requested to travel abroad with him, she met Roosevelt, she went to the Crimea, she refused to go down to the shelters when the bombs were falling because she needed to continue with her work. And really these young women that did work down in the war rooms, even just within the typers pool or the secretaries to other men, the other men in the war, in the government, it was a sort of huge pressure and responsibility, and you had to be incredibly committed, especially to work for someone like Churchill, who worked through the night, was a very difficult man, and then the most sort of generous man in moments, and Elizabeth's book is remarkable. I mean, he did the rehearsals, the majority of the rehearsals as Churchill. So I met him as Gary. We talked about the part in the film, and we sort of had these endless discussions about, it was brilliant. We had 4 weeks of rehearsals, and then in walks Churchill, and it was just, there's a photograph of my reaction. I'm sort of in a state of utter kind of shock and sort of panic. It is so remarkable in the flesh. It is so real. And I am in awe of Gary because never once, like the true sort of professional, and he is, like, I never heard him complain, and it must have been like underneath, like you sweat and it would have been itchy, and he conveyed such clarity of thought and expression through this mask. I think he's a genius.